What's up, guys? This is Dim, and we're going to be doing something completely off the cuff today. In the spirit of Throwback Thursday, we're going to post a video from one of the early raids of Burning Crusades. I actually found this when I went through my Warcraft movies account the other day for the first time in literally years. I've had a premium membership, and I actually forgot to cancel it. And it was coming up, and with me starting this channel, I actually wanted to go ahead and take a look at it. And I came across a couple of old videos that I recorded for my guild. I used to actually record a lot of our fights and post them in our guild forum so we can discuss strats, what worked, what we thought didn't work, and also boss kills. And a few of them I actually posted on Warcraft movies. Unfortunately, I lost most of them, and I thought that they were actually gone. And then I saw this one and a couple others still lingering in the premium archive of Warcraft movies, so I actually brought them back down. So I wanted to actually share this with you because I don't know if it was filmed the exact day or day before the day I posted it. I don't remember. However, the posting date on this was March 30th, 2007. That's right. This raid was actually done 7 years ago when Nightbane was actually current content in Burning Crusades. And this was actually our guild first kill. We also had, and to put that into perspective, we were actually the number 2 guild on the server. So this was relatively progressive current content at the time when this kill went through. And I actually wanted to just kind of sit back and discuss some of the things that were awesome about Burning Crusades and Classic raiding versus where we are right now, what's improved, what hasn't, what I hope we go back to. And it's just a really weird video for me. When I sat and watched it, it was just so funny to see certain things. This was my original Warlock. I no longer play him. I do have a Warlock on the Horde side now. But just even little things like Soul Shards. How if you played a Warlock in, I believe, up to Lich King, you had to gather Soul Shards to do a lot of your abilities and summon pets and to do things like give out health stones, soul stone, if you wanted to drop threat with soul shatter, certain things like that they've removed from the game because it just wasn't fun, and soul stones were one of them. If you look at my bag bar on the lower right hand corner, I had a bag that was dedicated only to soul shards, and they actually made a special bag type that were soul shard containers, just like hunters had quivers where they had to keep their bullets or arrows. And it's just funny little things like that you forget. Now, I did play the game since before launch. I did play kind of the early beta stage. And by the way, I do apologize. I am a little under the weather, so I am clearing my throat and coughing a little bit, so you might see some jump edits. And I do apologize about that, but I don't want to cough all over the screen for you guys, so you're going to have to deal with it. Sorry. Anyhow, yeah, and the one thing that watching this that really kind of struck me compared to where we are now in, let's say, Siege of Orgrimmar or raiding in general, is this was a really challenging fight. Now, it may not look like it because, I'm sitting off, I'm ranged, I'm an Affliction Warlock, so you don't see crazy big crits. But you'll see that the damage is consistent, and this was right on par with where you should be at Burning Crusades at this level of content. And this was Tier 1. We were a 25-man raiding guild. At the time, they had no 10-man raids, except for Karazhan. So we actually had to split up into 2 groups, and then we would merge together for 25-man, which actually kind of made for a little bit of a scheduling conflict. As you could see in our raid bars, we actually always had people on standby for both groups. So we had, 2 20-man teams, and we had 5 people waiting, plus our reserves for 25-man. So it was really good in the sense that when Warcraft brought together there's 10-man raiding and there's 25-man raiding, but they're the same thing. There's no separation. But a lot of people regard Karazhan as one of the greatest raid zones that Blizzard made, and it really was awesome. You're climbing this tower with multiple bosses with a reasonable amount of trash, but the whole zone just seemed to flow. And it was actually interesting because this raid zone actually kept people coming to it from the start of the expansion almost all the way till the end, because there were 10-man raiding guilds that only raided Karazhan. They couldn't get a 25-man group. But I don't agree with the fact that it locked out guilds from other raid content. So, with Wrath, where they merged everything together, where there's 10 or 25, it is much better. Now, the other thing is, if you notice, you can watch this fight and you can understand what's going on. You see that there's positioning, there's fear bombs that are going on, there's minimal area effect on the ground. And you could see that when something shows up on the ground, you know that this is fire, get out. A lot of problems with the current content of Siege of Orgrimmar is that every healing class can throw something on the ground, and every boss throws random stuff all over the ground as well, and it gets kind of confusing. I liked the old style where you knew what was going on in the fight. Like, you could see this fight, and you know exactly what's happening. And yes, the graphics obviously are a little bit more polished now, and things have obviously changed. But I do like that straightforward nature of raiding at that time in Burning Crusades, where the fights had, yet they're very challenging mechanics. However, it wasn't so busy looking, so to speak. And it was just easy to identify and position. Also, if you notice, there's actually a main assist window. The one thing that Wrath really did that I did not like is they really took away the single target thing that has to do with ads. And you still see that today in Mist of Pandaria, where if there's 2, 3, 4 ads, people are going right to their area effect abilities. I mean, some classes are a little bit different, but for the general rule of thumb, most classes, it's an AE fest when you have multiple mobs. In Burning Crusades, you had a single target, and you had a main assist, typically a hunter, that you needed to direct damage that guy down before anything happened. Otherwise, you just simply wouldn't do enough damage to the ads that came down. And that's another mechanic that I kind of miss. The other thing that I miss is the guild that you see here. And this was kind of a trend throughout Burning Crusades. And this is before the looking for systems, is that this entire group was very, very close-knit. We knew everybody by first character name, but we knew everybody by name. We all socialized. And we all knew that we were there for progression content and ready to wipe. And as were any other guild that was in Karazhan at the time, that was raiding Gruuls at the time, all the way up through the end of Burning Crusades, where people had that progression mindset where they did not mind wiping. You fast forward to today, yes, the looking for raid, looking for group system is terrific. It takes somebody that's in a casual, that can't commit to a steady schedule, and lets them see the content. And I personally think that it's great. I think everybody should be able to see the content. I was one of the few people in Vanilla that was able to see Naxxramas, but I think the stat was something like 3% saw up to a certain point, and only 1% actually wound up killing or clearing the whole zone. Personally, we were the top guild on our server, and we only got to the 4 Horsemen. So I think it's good to gate it so that you could see the whole set of content. What I don't like now is, with the varying difficulties, is that the mindset of people has gone less from progression to more of a, let's just blow through content. Yes, there's heroic guilds still, and there's people that will sit there and wipe. There's the methods, and that high-end raiding guild. But the general mindset and consensus is, I don't want to be bothered. Even a team that wants to do heroic or push for heroic will try a boss maybe 2 or 3 times on heroic, and then just hang up the towel and move forward. We don't have enough time, let's just go. And me personally, I like when I was able to commit as a full-time raider, I liked the progression, and it seems like a lot of that is gone. And and I know a lot of that has to do with LFR. Heck, I've seen it, and you guys have seen it. Every single LFR, if you wipe just once, you will see a slew of people, usually between 1 and 5 people, that will just leave the group. Oh, this group is terrible, I'm done. And they waited 40 minutes for that queue, but they don't want to wipe. And nobody wants to wipe. I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to wipe, but nobody has that kind of patience. So, there's a lot of good things, and there's a lot of bad things that have been kind of, fleshed out over the last 7 years. And I really just wanted to share this video with you. The one thing that I do want to point out that I absolutely cannot wait for with Warlords of Draenor is I cannot wait for the item squish. If you were, I'm sure the way eyes fixate, they fixate on moving things. You guys were probably watching my video, my webcam, the character motion, and the damage of scrolls. It's just how the human eye works. And you know what? You were able to make sense of everything. Even though I had typically about 4 dots rolling at any given time, you guys were able to see and understand what damage I'm doing. There's no silly 100k crits, or 100k. There's no silly 500k to a million crits, and you don't know when you take damage of 100,000 or 175,000. It doesn't make any difference because it's just big numbers and just spiky, and you know, look at crazy DPS numbers. I can't wait for the item squish. So, anyhow, I wanted to open this up. I wanted to share this video with you just because I thought it was funny that it's almost 7 years old, and it brought back a lot of good memories for me. A really fun time. That was one of the best guilds I've ever been in, and that was during Burning Crusade. So I wanted to share that with you and kind of my opinions on current and old school raiding. So if you like this, like, comment, subscribe. As you can see, we got the webcam back. I'm still not happy with the total appearance, but people said that they wanted to bring the camera back, so here it is. I think we're going to do a little bit of green screen and get rid of the excess view. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in Azeroth. Bye!